Hi there, Mark here, welcoming you to another edition of Coming Soon, in which I talk about discs that are coming soon. I don't have a huge stack for you today, but I have gotten some things in recently that, as I record this, will not be out for a few weeks. So if you want to get a first look at some upcoming releases, I don't know the release dates, I don't know all the specs, I'm going to read you what I can find in the packaging, but if you look in the textual description under this video on YouTube, I have all the release dates, I have Amazon links to purchase or to check out the Amazon information, which may be more complete than mine. And if you do use an Amazon link for that or any video that I post and you do make any purchases, I get a tiny commission on that. It doesn't cost you a dime more, but it helps keep me in cool Tijuana Brass t-shirts once in a while. Total side note, if you can see, this is speaking to 4 people out there, if you have the ability to see the current 2025 Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass tour, you really should go do that. If you've ever heard the music or you like old instrumental music, I went to see it and it was one of the most fun concerts I've ever been to. Place was sold out. It was thrilling. He's on tour. The man's 90. He's on tour everywhere. Anyway, you're here to hear me talk about Blu-rays and DVDs from Celluloid Dreams, a relatively new boutique label. It's only, I believe, put out one release before this. Comes Short Night of Glass Dolls. This is a giallo film from the early 70s. Celluloid Dreams is a father and son company, very small company. They do their releases with an incredible amount of care, one at a time. I really loved the first release, and I will say, I have watched the movie on this. I haven't delved into the extras yet, and this thing looks unbelievable. So what you get here is, come in. Oh, you get a nice hard case slipcover for this. You get the specs on the back. The film from the, I'll read it to you if you like to be read to. And I read, if you've ever watched one of these, you'll know, I read incredibly poorly aloud. First time in 4K Ultra HD, Blasphemous Time says the most creative giallo. From the fringes of the giallo genre, writer and director Aldo Lado, Who Saw Her Die, and Night Train Murders. I always think of Who Saw Her Die because I received an Arrow review disc of it, and they had printed, on the review discs I get don't always have the final artwork. They're just like a white label and printed. And the kerning was not great. So instead of Who Saw Her Die, it read as Who Saw Herdy. He directed Who Saw Her Die and Night Train Murders, which is a wonderfully sleazy Left House on the Next Left knockoff. Delivers a debut movie that pushes the boundaries of convention with an ending that is one of the best, truly shocking giallo finales ever put on film, according to Jeffrey Thomas of Collider. Foreign correspondent Gregory Moore, Jean Sorel, who looks like a poor man's Franco Nero in this film, is finished, and not poor, like a slightly impoverished man's Franco Nero, is finishing his last assignment and plans to free his Czech girlfriend, portrayed by Barbara Bach, Mrs. Ringo Starr, from the shackles of the Iron Curtain, but their plans are suddenly derailed when Myra vanishes and his own body is found in a park. Seemingly dead, his mind screams out, "I am alive!" So it kind of plays on the Alfred Hitchcock Present episode, one or more Alfred Hitchcock Presents episodes. This film will surprise you with its remarkable narratives, distinctive photography, and stellar cast. It also includes Ingrid Thulin and Mario Adorf, who you would know from Bird with the Crystal Plumage. He was the scruffy, bearded man who liked to eat cats. Celluloid Dreams is proud to present this newly scanned version, restored in 4K from the original camera negative. The extras, or the special features, or the specs, let's say. Original Italian and English opening credits, English, Italian, and Grindhouse theatrical trailers, 7 featurettes with Aldo Lado, Jean Sorel, Enzo Doria, Mario Mora, Eda Delorso, Dieter Geisler, and others. 35mm Grindhouse version of the film. Export Malastrana credits, original US paralyzed VHS version, so the whole VHS edition is on tape. Commentary, and if the VHS version is on here, watch this movie and then take a look at what the VHS version looked like, and you'll be like, thank you, Celluloid Dreams, or vice versa. Watch the Celluloid Dreams and then pop on the VHS and understand how bad we had it for a long time. Commentary by track by writer-director Aldo Lado, that's great. Commentary track by film critic Guido Henkel, which is, I did listen to that, it's phenomenal. Isolated score photo gallery, 64-page booklet is in color from 1971, 97 minutes. Italian 1.0 DTS HD, that's mono to you and me. English 1.0 DTS HD with English subtitles. It is in 2:3:9 aspect ratio. It is a region A and it is closed caption. So I showed you the front and the back. Let's look at the inside. We have a book, which is, that's a hefty book. I have not looked at this yet. There is, let's see, do we have a table of contents here? We have Who Saw the Glass Dolls on the Night Train, a retrospective on the works of Aldo Lado by Andy Marshall Roberts. and it's relatively large print with a lot of nice photos from this newly restored scan, which looks really good. Some initial reactions to the film by critics, so you get, wow, you get original newspaper ads and things like that, newspaper articles. There is a lot in here. Old, wow, you never see these, Italian newspaper ads. So this is a very cool book that comes with this. Then we have the disc itself. It is a 4K UHD and a Blu-ray. So I haven't popped in anything other than the 4K yet. But, and then what we do, they do this is great. So there's a little insert in here, and it says, this shows you what they released previously, which was the Case of the Bloody Iris. That was the first release. And each one of these releases, so Case of the Bloody Iris had a little thing in here that said coming soon, Short Night of Glass Dolls. And this is Black Belly of the Tarantula, which appears to be the next release from Celluloid Dreams. And however long it takes them to do it, take your time, boys. It's a goodie. 4K UHD disc, and then we flip it over and we get the Blu-ray disc. So if you buy this and you don't have a 4K setup, you've got a Blu-ray that you can watch. And if you ever do get a 4K setup, the 4K is in there. And then you get disc 3 bonus features, and disc 4 is disc 4 is the Grindhouse version and the Paralyzed version. So that disc is just 2 alternate versions, visually presentations. The Paralyzed version maybe is a different edit of the film, I'm not sure. And then you get the alternate artwork, which is basically just the Italian title versus the English title. Again, another stellar release from Celluloid Dreams, and I've only barely dipped into the extras on that. Up next from, is this Eureka? Eureka! You don't smell so great yourself. Up next from Eureka, a film by Ringo Lam, The Adventurers. I don't know this film, so let's find out together. This is from 1995, Hong Kong film, 110 minutes, 185 original aspect ratio, and it contains images, flashing images, by the way, so be careful. The only collaboration between action master Ringo Lam, who did City on Fire, and Hong Kong superstar Andy Lau, Infernal Affairs, and a million things. The Adventurers, an explosive story of heroic bloodshed featuring Rosamund Kwan from Once Upon a Time in China, David Chang from Election, and Victor Wong from Big Trouble in Little China, which we're showing at the Mahoning very soon. So I'm not going to get into all the details on this. Beyond that, let's just slip the slipcase off. Because sometimes these run a half hour, and I don't know if everybody wants to hear me yap about it for a half hour about movies I haven't watched yet. So the slipcase slips off to reveal alternate artwork, which looks, that's Andy Lau, if you don't know him there. And those look like the Twin Towers, but there could have been something similar overseas. Front and the back. Crack it open. Andy Lau has a few words he wants to exchange with you. So that's a little booklet. And if we look at what's under the tray, it's just sort of a variation on what's on the cover there. And then the booklet has cast and crew, and then it is just an article about the film with stills from the film featuring Andy Lau and other Hong Kong actors. So The Adventurers, I really was into Hong Kong action movies in the 90s. I fell into them through seeing the Incredibly Strange Film Show episode on Jackie Chan and realizing, wait, the guy in Cannonball Run did other stuff? He did stuff over in Hong Kong, and it looks better than any American action movie I've ever seen. And from there, it led into an obsession. So that's why I'm thrilled that Eureka and 88 and Arrow and Shout Factory and so many companies are putting out all of these amazing Hong Kong films from the 70s up to the late 90s, which to me was the golden age of Hong Kong cinema. Speaking of which, 88 Films presents Yakuza Wives. This comes with a numbered Obi slip, 1 of 4,000. Booklet notes by Nathan Stewart, Blu-ray presentation in 1:8:5 aspect ratio, original mono audio with improved English subtitles. Thank you, because if you're like me and you loved Hong Kong movies in the 90s and you would buy old VCDs and DVDs, first of all, there would always be something white across the bottom of the screen, so you could never quite read the subtitles, the white subtitles, and they were often done not with a tremendous amount of care. Sometimes that was unintentional hilarity, but it wasn't always ideal in trying to figure out what was being said. New filmed introduction by Mark Schilling, executive exclusive interview with tattoo artist Seiji Mori, stills gallery, trailers, original and newly commissioned artwork by Sean Longmore. So that was the front with this little Obi strip that'll fall off as soon as I take this wrapper off. And then let me take the wrapper off for our friends who enjoy the sounds of cellophane. Oh, I guess it won't. It's tucked inside the case, much like Radiance does. It's tucked inside the slipcase. So if you don't want that in there blocking your view, you can open this up and just slide it out, crack it open, and we get basically the same artwork or variation on that artwork there. We take out the disc, and we get the original Hong Kong poster, if you can see that through there, which I love that they do that, so you can flip it and slip it. And then we get the little booklet, which has an article by Nathan Stewart, Rebirth of a Genre, a lot of stills and black and white and color stills, and I'm looking forward to this. This is a movie I don't know. I don't doubt. I've watched so many Hong Kong movies for so long, I don't doubt that I probably recognize a lot of the cast in this film, but let's see. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Japanese. It's a Japanese film. I'm less well-versed in Japanese cinema than I am Hong Kong. This is Region A and B. This is a Toei release originally, Region A and B, which means in the US or the UK, where 88 Films originates from, you can just throw this in your player and it will work fine. Also, for another Toei film released perhaps as a set is Jakoman and Tetsu from 88 Films on the Blu-ray disc. We'll read the front like we did the numbered OB slip of 1 of 4,000. This isn't number 1 of, this is number 2842 of 4,000. Ask for it by name. Original mono 2.0 with English subtitles. Original 2.35 to 1. Widescreen aspect ratio. Audio commentary by Tom Mess and Jasper Sharp. 2 icons in the world of Japanese film scholarship. Brand new film introduction by Mark Schilling. Stills Gallery original and newly commissioned artwork by Sean Longmore. So again, well, this is the last one I have. So a little bit more. So as we said, the front and the back. Slipcase slips out. Slipcase, the OB strip slips right out. You get that when you crack it open, when you crack a Toei East of Java. We have the original Japanese poster as the alternate way to look at that. We get a little booklet, front and back artwork. Not too. This is the most important thing you want to know too. Like you can get a page count from that. Maybe if it was 4K and you paused it. We have Jakoman and Tetsu by Chris D., which is an essay with original poster art and stills and things like that. The booklets, as I always say, for a while, booklets were not always that useful. A lot of times in the earlier days of DVD, you would get something and it would have a little insert that would be chapter index. And it's like, well, there is a menu for that. Or it would just be something really basic that was already replicated on the disc itself. With these, it's information that isn't always covered in the commentaries and the supplemental features. And they're usually written by people who really know their stuff and are good writers. So the booklets are actually really cool and always worth looking at for any of these, the Radiance or Arrow or any of those. So that's all I have right now. So if you're interested, as I said, in any of these or curious about release dates or specs or couldn't understand what the hell I was talking about, go and click on the Amazon links and those will take you to the ordering page. Usually pre-orders on Amazon are like 30% off retail, so it's a way to save money too. And if you use the Amazon links, as I said, I get a little something and maybe it'll allow me eventually to get a haircut and not always wear this hat to cover up how really, really terrible my hair is. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. I have something to discuss that is coming soon.